The Landman Season 2 finale is finally here, and after a season that often felt like it was spinning its wheels, this episode did exactly what it needed to do. It snapped back to the core of what makes this show work. Real tension, real consequences, real danger. And at the center of it all was Billy Bob Thornton. This wasn't just another episode starring Tommy Norris. This was the Tommy Norris episode. Thornton delivers his strongest performance of the season, maybe the series, carrying the finale on his shoulders and reminding us why this character has always been the heart of the show. The episode opens quietly, but meaningfully. Tommy sits in his father's old spot, watching the sun rise. At first glance, it feels like resignation, like he's stepping into TL's shoes, accepting that life is slowing down and that all that's left is to wait it out. But that's not what's happening at all. This moment isn't about surrender, it's about ignition. Tommy has just been fired. Cammy thinks she's cut him loose, but instead of breaking him, her words light a fire under him. This isn't a man ready to fade away. This is a man gearing up for one last all-or-nothing swing. And that swing starts with Cooper. The wells Cooper uncovered, the ones MTX completely missed, become the foundation of Tommy's next move. His own company, his own future. CTT, Cooper, Tommy, and Thomas. A bold play built on land everyone else overlooked. All Tommy needs now is backing. Enter Dan Morrell. After Cammy throws Tommy under the bus, Tommy goes straight to Dan and tells him the truth. Cammy doesn't know what she's doing, and her project is heading for disaster. Nate put it best earlier in the season. The company was never meant to survive Monty. Without him, it's a sinking ship, and Cammy is captaining it straight into the ground. People are leaving, money is bleeding out, and her high-risk Louisiana gamble is something Monty never would have signed off on. Tommy doesn't ask Dan for a favor. He asks him to honor the original deal. A straight 50-50 split, the same terms Dan wanted from the beginning, and Dan agrees, because Dan always believed in Tommy. That belief is why he backed Cammy in the first place, and now he's backing the man who actually knows how to run this world. But the deal comes with a warning. If Tommy crosses him, Dan won't just take the company. He'll take the thing Tommy values most, his family. For a while, it feels like everything is about to collapse. Cooper is facing a murder charge. Angela learns Tommy lost his job. The money almost doesn't come through. Then the freeway crash hits. A brutal reminder that Tommy is running full speed toward the edge, and it could all end in an instant. But it doesn't, because in the final moments of the episode, CTT Oil Exploration and Cattle officially opens its doors. And in a quiet but powerful shift, the crew we've followed all season makes their choice. They walk away from MTX, and they follow Tommy. This isn't just a new company, it's a declaration. Tommy Norris isn't done, he's just getting started. For the crew, the decision to follow Tommy wasn't emotional, it was smart. This wasn't just loyalty, it was opportunity. A fresh company, better money, real security. For the first time in a long time, their futures actually looked stable. And for Tommy, that stability finally extended beyond work. With Angela, we saw something quietly powerful. He actually listened to her, really listened. Not as background noise, not as an inconvenience, but as a person. Angela isn't chasing power or prestige. She's chasing moments, small memories, the kind you don't realize matter until they're gone. It was tender, understated, and honestly one of the most genuine moments between them all season. Then came the coyote, the same symbol that hovered over Tommy at the end of season 1. The same omen that once felt like death, patiently waiting its turn, but this time Tommy doesn't flinch. He looks at it and says, "You can't have today. Today is mine." And just like that, the meaning flips. This isn't death circling anymore. This is survival. This is victory. Tommy wasn't broken by getting fired. His life didn't collapse. He walked away standing. There's real poetry in how the episode frames it. The day begins with Tommy watching the sunrise, unsure of what comes next. It ends with him walking home as the sun sets, having taken control of his future. Same day, completely different ending. It's a beautiful shot and one of the strongest visual moments of the season. Meanwhile, Cooper and Ariana's storyline brings the tension right back up. After Ariana's attack in the previous episode, the fallout hits hard. Cooper is arrested. The man who attacked Ariana died after Cooper struck him 17 times, and now Cooper is staring down a murder charge. It weighs heavily on Tommy, but it's even heavier on Cooper, who spent the entire season trying to turn his life around. This is where Rebecca steps back into the spotlight, and this is the Rebecca fans have been waiting for. As Cooper's lawyer, she delivers an absolutely ruthless monologue about being a life ruiner. The timing, the confidence, the way she dismantles the cops in the room piece by piece. It felt like a direct callback to season 1, and it worked perfectly. That said, the detective's aggression toward Cooper does feel excessive. The evidence clearly shows he was defending Ariana. Yes, the man died. Yes, Cooper went too far, but treating him like a cold-blooded killer who enjoyed it felt off. The situation was tragic, not malicious. Ultimately, it's Tommy who ends the threat. He reminds them of the political fallout, the public outrage, the mayor cleaning house if this case explodes. That pressure is enough. The charge quietly disappears, and seeing Cooper smile at the end, earned. He fought for his career. He fought for his relationship. He nearly lost everything. Instead, the season ends with him as president of his own company and in the healthiest place he's ever been with Ariana. Then there's Angela and Ainsley. I've been critical of these two all season, but credit where it's due, the finale finally gave them purpose. Ainsley's college storyline lands surprisingly well. Her repairing things with Pagan, realizing they can be friends despite their differences, and learning that communication matters feels grounded and sincere. But the real emotional weight comes from Angela. She's not just dealing with change, she's grieving it. Watching her child grow up, pull away, and prepare to leave home hits her like a quiet loss. That empty space that's coming scares her, and that's something every parent understands. For the first time, Angela feels real. Her fear when she learns Tommy was fired, her flashbacks to 2008, the panic that everything could collapse again, all of it cuts through. She isn't shopping, she isn't drifting, she matters. And for the first time in the series, Angela feels like she belongs in this story. If season 3 continues in this direction, that alone would be a huge win. As for the finale itself, this was easily the strongest episode of Landman season 2. No question about it, if there was ever a moment for Landman to deliver its best episode, it was always going to be the finale. And while I still think season 2 struggled overall, this final chapter finally injected the urgency and danger the show had been missing. Tommy could lose his career, his family, his future, all in one swing. That sense of real risk gave the episode an intensity the season desperately needed. Performance-wise, Billy Bob Thornton was outstanding. This was the best we've seen him as Tommy Norris across both seasons. Every emotion landed, the exhaustion, the pressure, the quiet fear. That deep-rooted need to prove himself one last time. And yes, the rush Cammy claimed he never chased. This is exactly why Thornton was cast. He made Tommy feel lived in, weathered, and real. You believed every second of it. Rebecca also deserves serious praise. And it's honestly kind of funny how much stronger she becomes the moment Charlie Newsome isn't around. The sharp tongue, the controlled aggression, the way she instantly commands the room and terrifies law enforcement without raising her voice. It was magnetic. This is the Rebecca that made season 1 work so well. The life ruiner, the closer, and I've been waiting all season for that side of her to resurface. The finale finally delivered, and it was worth the wait. My one real disappointment, Cammy's limited presence. I wanted to see MTX sinking, not just hear it implied. Still, Nate's line, that the company was never meant to outlive Monty, hit hard. It reframed everything. Cammy isn't just making bad decisions. She's desperately trying to keep her husband alive through the company, and in doing that, she's slowly driving it into the ground. Looking back, season 2 will probably be remembered as a season that promised more than it delivered. It lacked momentum, it lacked danger, and compared to season 1, it ultimately fell short. But the finale mattered. It reminded us what this show can be when it's focused, character-driven, and willing to take risks. And with season 3 confirmed, the groundwork is now in place. MTX's collapse, Tommy's rise, power shifting hands. So at the very least, Landman earned itself another shot. And that's it. Landman season 2, episode 10, ending explained.